How's it going, everyone? New day in the shop. Today we're going to be bringing in a trailer frame. You may have seen it sitting over where the forklift is in some previous videos. But that trailer is a prototype trailer that eventually we're going to be manufacturing for Sunset RV out of Forest Grove. We'll put a link in the description below. But basically, what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be pulling some measurements off of the prototype frame that they had, and then they also sent a jig out. And our goal is to put together a good estimate for them to build these trailer frames out and also painting them. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to bring it in the shop. I'm going to get the jig off the top of the frame, and I'm going to kind of just go through everything here and just get some measurements and put together a quote for what I believe it's going to take to get this thing built out, and see if we can't get some of these knocked out for them in a reasonable price and get them painted. They're a pretty slick little setup. It's eventually going to be kind of like a teardrop style trailer setup, looking something similar to like an Airstream. And these are going to be an axle-less setup, which is a pretty neat feature. This is something I've never seen before. I don't know how new of a axle setup it is for these trailers, but I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, we'll get the forklift over here and hook up and bring it in the shop and get to work. So I got everything off the trailer now, got inside the shop. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is going through this frame, and I'm going to be figuring out how much weld per inch is going to need to be done, and some things are going to change with this structure. This, like I said, this is just a prototype frame. That pallet that I had up on the front here, that has a bunch of pre-cut pieces. They're cross members that go in between the frame here, which will actually eliminate having two pieces of this offset channel, and it'll be one solid channel chunk, and that'll add a little bit more rigidity to the frame. Just kind of beef this thing up a little bit, and they're not super heavy, but we had talked about punching some holes in those to lighten them up, and then putting like a dimple die flare on them just to keep that rigidity still in too, but lose some weight. So we can make these trailer frames as light but as strong as possible, and then that way they have a little bit more flexibility in the structure of the whole trailer body that's going to end up going on here. All right, so I got most of this parts kit laid out here with the exception of the frame rails and some of the other outriggers, but you kind of get the idea here. I think I mentioned before, we're going to ditch the double offset channel and go for a full formed piece of channel in the rear and in the front. This one will stick with the offset channel. And we got our crossbar in the front, there's a crossbar in the back, and then we got all our outriggers here. I just got a couple here for mock-up. And then another thing that we're going to end up changing is I'm not a fan of these big thick plates on the seam. I think it's overkill thickness-wise. We're gonna drop this down to something thinner, like a 3/16 or a 1/8 inch wall. And we're gonna double them up. So instead of just having the one on the inside, we're also gonna put one on the outside too, just to make sure that this corner is gonna be nice and solid. I want it rigid, but not too rigid to the inside, because now it's so stiff here, and this is gonna be the next weak point. Obviously, you know, with a trailer turning, backing up, jackknifing, whatever, this whole area right here is gonna be a critical point to make sure it's not going to fold over on itself, and then also to add to the rigidity of the frame for when the whole structure of the camper shell will be on here. What I'll end up doing with this, like I said, we're gonna put 2 plates, one on the outside, one on the inside. I'm gonna cut some holes in the new plates, and then we'll also take this from being a squared end to a bring it to a taper here, and then kind of come back over here. It won't be as drastic as I did there, but it'll be a nice little gradual radius, a fish plate, as they say. And that'll beef that little corner up there. But what I'm gonna be doing, I'm getting everything kind of laid out with the kit pieces here. And this is a kit specifically for this trailer design that Sunset RV came up with. And we have another steel manufacturing company that will be cutting out and stamping out all these pieces here from when we get going on this. I currently have enough material to build 2 trailer chassis. And then we were waiting on the axle assemblies, wheels, tires, and trailer jacks and tongues. So that's the only pieces that I don't have here, but they're not going to stop me from getting going on this. But my next step is to go through, and I'm going to measure up everywhere where we're getting welded and just start putting a quote together so I can figure out what it's going to cost to build each trailer frame. And we'll kind of try and figure out if we're going to do them in batches or by individual trailer. I guess it's just kind of going to depend on the demand that these trailers will bring, which I think once we have a completed project and you guys can see the whole deal here, it's going to be pretty slick. Just imagine a miniature Airstream with kind of, you know, lower sitting body. It'll kind of be like a slammed teardrop trailer that'll look like an Airstream. So it'll be pretty slick. One of these days I'll get over to Sunset RV and we can do a little walkthrough on another trailer that the owner of Sunset RV got his original idea for building these trailers off of. It's exactly what I just explained. A miniature Airstream, lowered, low profile tires, big wheels. So it's just got that like cool, like almost like a VW slammed bus kind of look. So that'd be kind of neat for a little trailer to have. So we'll get back to it here and keep on chugging away. So it's the end of the day here, and I just got wrapped up with doing some my estimate and drawing up some prints here for the gusset plates that I'm going to be doing, and got materials kind of figured out, the additional stuff that I'm going to need. So this is my fish plate that's going to be on the front corner up here on both sides. We're going to have 4 in total per trailer chassis. 3/16 plate, going to have 2 1.75 inch diameter holes with a 26-degree bend in the middle, and we're going to 45 these ends here, and I'll end up running these through my belt sander and kind of round these edges off. And those will end up looking pretty good. And then for where the axle mounts on the frame here, obviously you can see whoever built this before just butchered some rectangle tube on there. And what we're going to end up doing, I came up with a slick idea because one of the things that they were wanting to do is bring the wheel center about center of the outriggers, and that'll bring it out a little bit closer, give this trailer chassis a more stable platform on the road. These axle assemblies actually bolt to the frame. There's also a piece of angle where it bolts there. My idea is to make this adjustable. So what we'll end up doing is there's 3 holes here. So there's one in the center, and then there's 2 or 1 on each end. We'll punch those holes out and we'll sleeve the frame. And then in order to adjust everything, we'll have another set of hole patterns. So, if we decide to adjust this thing out, you'll have another hole set here to throw these bolts in. And then when you space it out, we'll run a piece of flat stock in between. And so we can go up to like a 3/4 thick flat stock, 1/2 inch or 1/4, and that'll allow the adjustment of the axle in or out. And then you could also run a different wheel offset or whatever floats your boat, trying to make it custom for the customer. So, and we won't just have it bolted on. It'll be stitch welded or tacked in a couple critical areas to keep it from breaking free or moving. It shouldn't with the amount of bolts that are holding it on, but that's just kind of a safety factor. But I thought that was kind of slick because then it gives you the option to run different wheel offsets. So if you want that wheel way out far, real close to the edge of the body, just give it that cool, like slammed look. And again, too, that'll also help with the stability of this trailer, pulling it down the road. It'll be a good wide stance and should handle pretty good. But obviously you bring the wheel set in more, you're creating more of that tipping factor. But I mean, even then, that still won't be a big issue. It's just more of a personal preference, I think, at that point. But that's what we got going there. Just those little angle gussets, nothing fancy. All that will be 3/16 plate. I sent out some emails to get some quotes back on having that material cut out. And then I figured out, what it's going to take to get this thing, fully prepped, fully welded out and assembled and rolling out the door. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked, making some good progress. Obviously, we're not doing actual physical work. We're doing the paperwork side of things, which I am not a huge fan of. I want to burn wire and make some stuff happen. So I'm stoked that I got past this part today. So we're probably going to put this on the back burner for now until we get approval on the quote for the customer. And I think everything's going to go pretty smooth with this. And I'm hoping that we can start knocking these out in the next couple months. It'd be cool if I got, an order for, a decent batch that'd keep me busy for a bit. But I mean, I'm already pretty busy, so it'll just kind of add to the workload, which is good because I need to bring that moolah in to keep things a-chugging here. So that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.